this 6-game series played out for him. You'll recall it started out with him absolutely out of his mind with 6 threes in the first quarter, which is the most for him in any quarter in the finals. But despite that hard start, it was the Celtics that went nuts in the fourth. They got that victory, and they stole home floor right out of the gate, winning 120-108. The loss meant Game 2 absolutely was one the Warriors had to have. And Stephen had a game-high 29. 14 came in that pivotal third quarter, one that saw the Warriors outscore the Celtics by 21. That recipe helped the Warriors bounce back and win 107-88, series tied at a game apiece. Arguably, the best game comes in Game 4. Speaking of have to have it, you fall down 3-1 and you're all but done. Curry, 43 points in Boston, becoming the third oldest player with 40 or more in a finals game. The other two, LeBron James and Michael Jordan. That helped the Warriors steal back home floor, a 10-point win, evening the series at 2 games apiece. After a win in Game 5, where Steph was as bad as he's going to be, didn't make a 3, Curry puts on a show, a team-high 34, 6 of 11 from 3. And after this one right here, Steph let everybody know, I'm getting that ring. Very different emotion, though, in the end, as all that they've been through in these last few years clearly hit him, and then MVP in the finals for the first time ever, something he spoke to Lisa Salters about afterwards.
It means we took advantage of the opportunity to get back here, and I hear all the conversations, I hear all the chatter, we hear all the chatter. At the end of the day, it's about what we do on the floor. Ain't got to talk about it, just got to go do it, and that's what this is about.
You said it during our post-game interview just 3 seasons ago. You guys had the worst record in the league. At what point did you believe that you could be back up here on this stage?
You always had a doubt, but you know how long the road is to get back here because of how hard it is to win on this level. Boston's a great team. Every team we played in the West is great teams. But we found a way to just get it done. And everybody on the stage had a part in this. From the front office, coaches, players. At the beginning of the year, what were they saying? We weren't even on the radar. And now we're here with 2 trophies, and it means a lot.
Every championship journey is different. How would you describe this one?
Just combining our championship pedigree and our experience with some fresh energy, some guys that are really hungry to take their next step. But we've built this for 10, 11 years. And that means a whole lot when you get to the stage because you know how to win. And everybody who's been a part of this knows what that's about. So this one hits different. This one hits different for sure.
Curry is just the 5th player to average 30 points and multiple steals in a single NBA Finals. The first since the young Dwayne Wade did it for Miami back in 2006. The list is filled out by legends, as you might guess, Hakeem, MJ, and Julius Erving. Speaking of legends, Doris Burke is back with us, who called the game on ESPN Radio. And Doris, I think we know each other well by now, right? I'm not one that wants to be unreasonable. I try not to buy into hyperbole, but Steph's somebody that invites it, doesn't he? I mean, it's hard to be reasonable. How would you describe the performance that you saw from Curry in winning MVP in this series?
Well, listen, he didn't need it to, do anything to cement his legacy. Listen, before this even started tonight, this guy was an original, a seminal figure in league history. You had legs on before, Scott, talking about the beautiful basketball they play, the split actions. But this is the guy around whom it's built. He changed what was considered to be a good shot in the league. It's just incredible to me, the humility with which he does it. And I know we're going to talk a long time, Scott, about what he does on the offensive end. But 4 times in this series, they held the Boston Celtics below 100 points. And every night, the guy battling, he's not the best defensive player. That's Peyton and Wiggins and Draymond, who is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to tell you this. Steph Curry took it personal all those years when people were attacking him. He got in the weight room and he changed it and he competed. Listen, I'm going to go back to Game 4 and say it was the competitive spirit and fire of both Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry that changed that game and this series with that win.
I have defense written down to ask you about, and Steve Kerr, if we get a chance to talk to him. Tonight, look, the Celtics turnovers, it jumps off the page. 23 is obviously too many. I wonder how much, Doris, was just Golden State's defense and want to. How much do you believe the credit you'd give as opposed to blame?
Oh, there's no question about the fact that they influenced a lot of those turnovers. Was fatigue part of it for Jason Tatum? I believe it was, and inexperience and youth. But I think one thing we overlooked throughout the course of this series is the fact that they finally got healthy, Golden State. It's the Wiggins and Draymond and everything was back in place. Kevon Looney doesn't get enough credit. Who Wiggins had to guard over the course of the series. Luka and then Tatum. We have not given enough credit to what was an elite defensive team. Steve Kerr said it to us a couple of games ago. He said, everything we do is built on the defensive end of the floor.
Doris, it's a pleasure as always. I wait all year to get to these chances, and then they're over in the blink of an eye. Fantastic work as always, and be well until the next time our paths cross, okay?
Look forward to seeing you, Scott.
As do I. Doris, thank you very much. All right, we're going to take you now inside the Warriors locker room as the celebration is underway. Another title, their fourth in 8 years. Well, what I'm going to say now is 4 titles in 8 seasons. It doesn't happen much. Something that I've written about for the One Big Thing. You go back to the beginning of the league, Mikan in the 50s, the legendary Celtics of the 60s, the Lakers, Showtime Lakers of the 80s, MJ's Bulls in the 90s, and now Golden State Warriors, their 4th title in 8 seasons. Steve?
Before, and so that was part of the message. Let it propel us forward. The experience and growth and progress that we made this season. Obviously, getting to your ultimate goal and falling a few games short is going to hurt, and there are a lot of guys in there very emotional right now. So the message was, we thank them for the effort and the growth and everything they allowed us to do coaching-wise this year. And the biggest message was learn from this, grow from it, take this experience and see there is another level to get to with a team like Golden State who has been there, done that, and it was evident in a lot of ways. And just don't come back the same as players, coaching staff, and let this fuel you throughout the offseason the next year.
On your right, Mark.
Hey, Yemi. You talk about things you're going to learn from. Obviously, one of them is turnovers and taking care of the ball. What did Golden State figure out about you guys that they were just able to do so consistently in that way?
Well, they did what they did, and rotation-wise, they are very consistent with where they're at and don't make a lot of mistakes. And so I'm sure as our turnovers piled up throughout the series, and you could look across the playoffs, it was an area of emphasis. You can pretty much look at the box score and see if we won or lost based on a few things. And so them being consistent and more so, I'm sure in their locker room they're saying be solid and get in your spots, and they'll give it to you in some sense. And so our thing, as we had guys growing and learning to be playmakers and look for their own scoring, that's the next phase of it, is seeing different defenses and being solid against that. And once again, you look at the numbers and they got 103 on the night. We give them 20 plus off turnovers and 20 plus off second chance points, and don't really give ourselves a chance as far as that. So, they're a solid team. That's a championship team that's been there, obviously, I think 6 out of 8 years, and you can see the consistency on that side and what they did with us, turning us over.
Follow up on Mark on the right.
What, looking to the summer, Rob obviously has to take care of his knee. What kind of a program are you guys laying out for him?
Strengthen his body. That's the main thing in general. And we said it coming into the season. He had his highest minutes per game this year. We wanted him to be able to play longer stretches. And I think he achieved a lot of things and had a lot of growth on the court. But a big part is taking care of your body and staying available. And so obviously have to strengthen up his legs and build all the muscle around it to protect his knees. But what I did tell him also was credit for playing through what he did and giving it a go and being out there for us. But now it's time to rest up, heal up, and get ready for next season and come back in better shape and stronger than you were this year coming into the season.
Adam in the middle.
Yeah, you mentioned learning from it and growing from it. What do you want Jason in particular to take from this experience? And this series in particular was obviously challenging for him at times and frustrating for him at times. What do you want to see him pull away from it and carry into next year?
Yeah, learn and understand who he is in this league. You're all-star, all-NBA first-team guy for a reason, and this is only the start of how you're going to be guarded and the attention you're going to draw. And so one thing that he's always done throughout the season was seen multiple different coverages and figured it out, and he did that throughout the first few series, and this one was a rough one. Very consistent team that did some things to limit him and make others pay, and so from him it's just continue to grow and understand that you're going to see this rest of your career, and this is just a start. But the growth that he showed as a playmaker this year and in certain areas, I think this is the next step for him, figuring that out and getting to where some of the veterans are that have seen everything and took their lumps early in their careers. And like I said, very motivated guy that works extremely hard and high IQ, intelligent guy that will learn from this and figure it out. And I think it will propel him to go forward, definitely motivate him.
Coach Udoka mentioned a tough one for Tatum. 6 of 18, 13 points, 5 turnovers. Boston had 23 turnovers in this game, 22